Nick, don't get mad, but I believe right now, in this day and age, I believe that AD is the best player on the team. I think what AD is able to do on both ends of the floor separates itself a little bit. I think LeBron is not, if it's a big situation, he'll play defense. So I think he's left the defensive end alone. When you think about some of the things LeBron, if he'll run down a block every now and then. But what AD brings for them defensively as well as offensively, we saw that last night too. And then I also got to take another shot too. I like the fact that AD makes his free throws too late. So I think you can go to him. I think late game, this is the first time I think in LeBron's career that if I'm drawing up a late play, I know LeBron took the shot last night, but I may go to AD because he can give me maybe a little bit more versatility because he can get all the way to the basket and get fouled and not be afraid to get fouled. Not saying LeBron will be afraid to get fouled, but I know he can get there and make the free throws. So he adds a little bit more components to his game right now than LeBron. And we know LeBron's a great triple-double threat in every night, but both ends of the floor and being dominant and can dominate both ends of the floor, I got to go with AD.
So the free throw thing, no one can argue. And LeBron wouldn't argue it. It's frustrating. It's confusing. He was never a great free throw shooter, but it's the last 3 years he's become a liability at the free throw line, and it's inexplicable. So and it does seem to affect some of his very late game decision making. So that's a fair critique. And as far as the defensive end, I think you are discounting how good LeBron's been defensively throughout this season. But Anthony Davis is right now the Defensive Player of the Year. Giannis maybe should sweep all the awards, but Anthony Davis certainly top 3 Defensive Player of the Year, and I think probably would be the Vegas favorite to win it right now. Here's why I disagree with you, though. It is actually in that clip, you got a little window into it. He talks about how earlier in the year that he said to LeBron that was a 3. And months later, LeBron does the Kobe dunk and says to him, that was an 8.5. And Anthony Davis didn't even know what he was talking about. And he had to remind him, no, months ago you said. And that's where LeBron's still the best player in basketball. His body is not atrophied enough. He's not the athlete he once was, but he's still top 7, 8 athlete in the league. And his mind is so much sharper than everyone else's. The photographic memory, the understanding of who needs a shot when, who is going to be open in what spot, what guy do I need to make sure gets a look so he gives me what he needs to give me on the defensive end. He is an offense unto himself. It's why, as great as Anthony Davis is, when he's on the court this year without LeBron, the Lakers get outscored. The Lakers have a negative point differential. Now, part of that's because the Lakers haven't built the team with another competent regular ball handler, but it's also because LeBron is doing part of everyone's job for them on the offensive end. He's the only player in basketball you can say that about right now. And when we talk about what would this team look like with just one of these guys, they wouldn't be a championship contender without both of them. We know that. But I think LeBron, with this roster, without Anthony Davis, would have this team similarly to how he had it last year prior to the injury in the playoff picture. I don't know that given Anthony's history in New Orleans, I don't know that we can assign him the same benefit of the doubt. So even though while one day I think, and that day might be next year or the year after, Anthony Davis will surpass him, I think right now LeBron's still the best player in the whole league, with the only person contending for him being Giannis. So I certainly think he's the best player on the Lakers.
Well, I believe that you make some valid points. Obviously, I think LeBron's going to make the right play. There's only a few guys that do make the right play almost every time. Magic Johnson did, Michael Jordan and LeBron James, where they made the right play, got the right guy to shot, no matter what the situation it was. That's not Anthony Davis's job. But when it comes to the Lakers, his job is to dominate the inside, be the best defensive player on the floor. He does that the best. Then offensively, at any given moment, he can get you 35 to 40. We saw that. His scoring has dropped down a little bit, but now he's starting to pick it back up. And then late in games, I trust him. He's a guy that can, I'm not saying he's the best clutch, late game player, but he last night showed me that his versatility to be able to step out, make a 3 late, have the confidence to take the 3. I think one thing that LeBron has rubbed off on him, and we don't give LeBron enough credit for, is the durability, not let him sit out multiple games.
That's a big part.
That's a big part of it. And he's making AD a better player. And I believe, and LeBron knows that. He knows that he cannot win an NBA title without AD. He knows he needs AD to play all season long. He understands the importance of the regular season. And he's going to probably get AD to 70-plus games. in his career now, where he haven't did that in his career. So that's what LeBron makes a huge difference. But I think for the Lakers to win and the best player so far this season, and even though I know LeBron's leading the league in assists, I think it's been AD.
I think we are going to see. Remember, right after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, I said we're going to see the best version of Andy Reid we've ever seen because of the experience he got, removing that burden, monkey off his back, so to speak. There's an element of what we're going to see from Anthony Davis after he goes through the crucible of the NBA playoffs in a position he's never really been in. The guy's only played 13 career playoff games. They've been an underdog in every series he's ever been in, even the one where they swept Portland, surprisingly, a few years ago. And then they've gotten annihilated by Golden State both years. The two playoff losses were to Golden State where they were huge dogs. Point I'm awkwardly trying to make is once he goes through this postseason and has this experience, I think we're going to see his game jump a grade that we've been kind of waiting for, that it can only jump from the playoff experience, from going through those battles. So I think next year, like LeBron's game is obviously done jumping. Like we know where he is. Question is, can he maintain it? Once Anthony Davis goes through, whether they win the title or not, even though I think they will, I think you're going to see the best version of Anthony Davis, a version we never got to see in New Orleans because he never had that playoff experience to learn from starting next season.